Hello YouTubers, and welcome to another video. Today I'm very excited to talk to you about the Sennheiser 620S. So these are the 620Ss. So why did I get this? Because I was curious about it. You know, like there's a lot of hype, or some hype out there, and of course there are closed back, which makes them useful for like office environments and things like that. I think some people might even take them out for walks and things in them, because you know the passive isolation on here is actually quite good. And of course there are 600 series headphone. So being a fan of the 600 series, I thought I just had to try them basically. So let's talk a little bit about them. There's a quality and feel. These feel really premium. I had the 560 S and the 599s, and those feel a little bit plasticky and shitty because they share the 500 kind of like a chassis. But this is nothing like the 560S or the 599, and I assume like the rest of the 500 series. This feels premium, feels really premium, and that's not the sensation I had with those from the 500 series. The hinges are metal here, which are really nice. They just feel really nice. The pads feel nice. That everything feels solid on here. The thing that I really like is that this cup here is metal, and it's got like this finish that looks really high end. So in terms of construction, these feel really premium. I think Sennheiser really nailed it. Everything just feels nice in here. So yeah, so if you're thinking that this is like a regular 500 series, is not. This is really, they pushed it up a notch with these. You can actually see the driver in there, which is pretty cool. I don't know if there's anything special about that driver that they want to show it to us, but sometimes you cannot see the driver there, so that's on the inside here. The pads are really nice, and I don't know why Sennheiser went with this, because I think if you've got a closed back, you want the drivers to be angled, and I think with the 600 chassis you can't do that, but with the 500 chassis you can do that. So I'm guessing a little bit here, because the drivers are angled this way, and I think it helps open up the space for closed back in particular, because you know they're limited by the enclosure here. So in terms how they go in the head, wow, the passive isolation on this is quite remarkable. You know, like as soon as you put them on, it's almost like putting like those. If you ever been to a noisy work environment, they give you those ear mufflers. That's how it feels. And you put this on, and it's like kills a lot of the sound. So that is really nice. And I think I wasn't quite sure, because I didn't really like the 500, the 560s and stuff, but these feel really nice, and I think the color is this is pretty comfortable here. I think they are sleek looking. They look quite amazing actually. So in terms of quality and feel, there's nothing to go wrong here. In terms of ergonomics, yeah, they fit very nicely. As I showed you, you know, the feel as soon as you put them on, the sound goes. It's actually quite remarkable. I think it might be something to do with the metal plates on here. It's the passive isolation on this is pretty good, so you'll have no issues using this in an office or even a cafe. Is it as good as active noise cancelling? You know, probably not, and that depends on the headphones you got. I think the Batiste, for example, they shit at ANC. So yeah, they feel really nice, and compared to say a 600 series, I think I would say that these feel a little bit better, more comfortable, more lush, more premium than say the 600 HD600. So top marks. You know, they come with only one cable, and it's like the 2.5mm push, and then it's got a 3.5 and 6.3mm on the other side. So no balanced connections here. I keep hearing that Sennheiser will come up with their own balanced cable. I mean, how difficult is it to make a balanced cable? What's that story all about? I don't really get it. You know, why didn't they just release this with a balanced cable? A lot of people use balanced connections these days. I think it's a bit of an oversight on Sennheiser's part there. But you know, I'm really happy with with how they feel, and you know, how they rest in your head, and you know, the passive sound isolation, top marks here. So really good. I do like the design of this a lot, and I didn't think I was gonna like it that much. I just really nice. So in terms of sound, yeah, because you know, this is what I was kind of hoping these were gonna be really good. I wasn't really impressed, and I don't think the sound signature is really for me. I tried it. I tried it with a lot of different DACs and amps and so on and so forth. And one thing that I understood from the 660s is how resolving they seem to be. You know, because they're quite bright. So as soon as you put them on, say for example, compared to say the HD600s, you put these on and they are a lot brighter. So you tend to hear a lot more things because they're that brighter. But then I think the bass is a little bit thin. It didn't matter what amp or DAC I was using. When I EQ'd it, I didn't really like it. Felt it a little bit bloated. So the sound is thin. Basically, it's missing a little bit of body and heft. But it's very detailed. It reminds me of the 560S, you know, like this similar kind of like reference sound, if you like. I don't know if this is the same driver or whatnot. It might be, but it reminded me of that. So the 599s were a little more warmer and more body. These are very lean. And if you're into that lean sound, or if you got actually. If you got a DAC that's lean, that's got body, because I tried the hip DAC, and it's got like that bass boost, things improve a little bit, but it's never nice, and it's never a nice sound for me. So I didn't really like it. I think the resolution is quite good, either that or because it's bright, it makes it seem like the resolution is that good. Because I've tried headphones that the resolution was really good, but they weren't bright like this, you know. So I wasn't really enjoying music so much on here. I think it lacked a little bit of a slam punch, you know, like, you know, when the drums go or when the bass goes, it's just a little bit dull, the sound, and very thin. So that sounds terrible, but that was my impression of it, and so I couldn't, with all these headphones here. I always know that I like a headphone because I reach out for them to listen to music. And I wasn't reaching out to listen to music on these. I was just reaching out to them to kind of test them. So I wasn't really enjoying the music when I put this on. And that's a big shame, you know, because they do have their virtues, but they don't really cut it. So I think, you know, if you're looking for a desktop solution, say for example you want to be in the office, or at home, and you want to put something that, you know, isolates you from the world, and you don't want an open back. In my experience, I felt that the Sennheiser Momentum 3s were a better solution, especially if you're using the DAC mode on here, because then you don't have to worry about having an amp. You don't have to worry about, you know, using your laptop output, which is usually shit. You don't have to worry about having anything else. Just connect the DAC on here, and then you're good. But this sounds a lot fuller, a lot richer, a lot more musical. Than this sounded quite analytical. I don't know if analytical is actually the word, but it sounded thin and a little bit piercing. These are really good. The Batis, for example, these are very resolving, more resolving, I would say, than the 620S. But they add a little bit of body and warmth and a little bit of that musicality that I appreciate. So these are actually pretty good. But if you're not dead intent on getting closed backs, then you should consider something like the HD600s, because this is the kind of headphone that if I'm listening to music, I reach out for them. Right? I reach out for them as a reference for comparison, but, you know, just normally speaking, and in my day-to-day life, I want to listen to music on this because they sound good. You know, I put them on, and I feel nice with the music. You know, they're not as resolving, I don't think, as these. I think the 620 are more resolving, but in all the rest, like timbre, you know, bass presence, you know, instrument kind of like feel, vocals, the treble smoothness. These are a lot better. And some people say has a spicy treble. Well, they should try the 620s because these are super spicy up the treble. So yeah, so that was a bit of my impression here of the 620S. You know, like really like them. You know, I think they are. If you're not bothered by, you know, like sometimes like hi-fi sound, you want to make it sound like hi-fi sound, so you make it really or reference sound. I felt the same with the 560 S, I think. Yeah, they aim for this reference sound or this hi-fi sound, but all it translates to is like really thin, kind of a resolving in some sense sound, but it's not engaging, it's not beautiful, right? So yeah, so kind of like to pull that off, right? To have that resolving sound and also musical, it's quite an ask. So you probably have to spend a bit more money than you spend on these. So I would happily trade off some of that resolution and hi-fi kind of a feel for you know, musicality, and this is what the HD600 does, of course, but this is an open back. But if you're really keen on having some of that hi-fi sort of feeling with some of that musicality mixed in, I would suggest you get the Batiste, because you know, you get these on USB mode, and they also work Bluetooth and do all sorts of things. But if your budget stretches, I think the sound on here, if you like intent on getting that hi-fi sound, they sound better than the 560s. Sorry, the 620Ss. So yeah, so that's my impressions, my opinion / review of the Sennheiser 620S. I would really wanted to like them. They're a closed back, they don't come out very often. I mean, actually, for closed back headphones, I think these are pretty good. Although I was listening to, and I don't have it here, I was listening to the 770 Pro, and I actually prefer the 770 Pro to these for music, and I don't really think the 770 Pros are actually amazing for music, but they do have some advantages to these. The bass is better, and the soundstage is a bit wider. Why didn't I bring them to the review here? I think they're downstairs. Anyway, so yes, that's also an alternative. The DT 770 Pro, I think, is cheaper than this, and I think you'll get more money for your money, but more headphone for your money. Although these are arguably more usable outdoors because the passive isolation is really good on this. Actually, you know, let me try again. God, it really feels like you're at work and you put some ear mufflers, ear protectors on. It's actually quite good. So, but yeah, but the sound profile wasn't really for me. But you know, if all you want is hi-fi sounding headphones, then these probably are your ticket. That's not my taste anyway. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you liked this opinion / review. Thank you to my subscribers. Thanks to everybody out there who likes my videos. It really helps a lot. And I'll see you around.